It's 5 Minute Fridays with Vince, and I love doing this with you guys. This is my opportunity to be able to talk with you between your work week and your weekend and get that great transition. This is Good Friday, and to me, this is an extra special Good 5 Minute Fridays. So I call this one the Great Exchange, and I had the opportunity to talk with my mentor, one of my mentors today, and while we are in conversation something came to mind. It reminded me of something about uh, when I travel across the world and when I travel to other countries. One of my favorite things to do is to collect currency from other countries. My son and I have this collection of coins and bills in different denominations from different countries. And what's always amazing to me is how much the US dollar is worth in other nations. And what you and I are so used to those quarters, those nickels, those dimes, those pennies that you step over and the collecting in the that little change table right on your nightstand, a little coin cup, or those ones that you skip past to get to the 5 or the 20 when you need to do something. It's amazing that when I go to other countries, like for example, like when I go to Kenya, the exchange rate on the US dollar there to a Kenyan shekel is like 1 to 62. The exchange rate on a dollar to an Eastern Caribbean dollar is like 1 to 5. And so when I would purchase things there, to me, it felt like I was getting so much for my value or for what I had because something that I was so used to, something that I was familiar with, that seemed like it did not carry much value when I went somewhere else, all of a sudden had so much more value. And for each of you who are underestimating your value or your worth, or you feel like, your gift is common, or that your grace is simple, or that what you do, other people can do it. Listen, I need you to understand something that when you are consistent, that when you persist, when you shut out all the all the noise and you focus and you press forward and you perfect your craft and you keep going and you perfect what you're doing, I promise you that in the time that you get taken out of your comfort zone or out of the areas that seem familiar, the scripture says that a prophet is not received in his own land. Pretty much what it means is, when you're around people who are familiar, or when you're around the folks who knew you from way back then, they don't always value you, or they don't see the value of your process, of your tears, of your work, of your ethic, of the things that you've lived through and you've overcome. And so it seems light and it seems common. But what happens when you get involved or you get invited into the circles of rooms where your gift has made room for you and you get in that meeting and you get the opportunity to pitch that deal, or you get the opportunity to broker a contract, or that time that you get the opportunity to share or to witness or to be an example or to be a light, or just to be able to have a conversation in a place where you previously did not have access. And all of a sudden now, because you're in an uncomfortable place, it's not your comfort zone, you're in a place that's not familiar, all of a sudden the exchange rate on your experience, on your effort, on your time, on your trauma, all of a sudden it brings back, or it gives you a greater return over everything that you've previously gotten. Well, let me say it a different way. If you're one in your regular circles only merits a little bit of interest, I promise you that your one somewhere else is worth like the Kenyan shekel, a $1 to 62, or the 1 to 5. You don't know where the grace on the exchange rate for you is going to multiply. You don't know where. You just got to be consistent with what you have. Own what you got. Know what you have. Don't underestimate your value. I understand that sometimes the exchange rate doesn't always happen the same, but I love the fact that this same principle is a very principle that took Christ from his throne in heaven to put on flesh, to walk on this earth as a man, and to choose to go to a cross, because that one death was equal all of mankind's love, life, sins, wiped them all clean, and gave us the opportunity to be restored and to be redeemed, literally be ransomed out of sin. That's why the scripture says that it came to pay the price for our sin. Listen, if his exchange rate, and listen to me, there are more examples in the scripture of God dealing with finances and money than you'll find of people getting healed. And that's just in the first 5 books of the Bible. If that's the case, then this principle is definitely a godly principle. Understand the power of the great exchange, because your exchange rate might be greater than what you think it is. You have no idea what you're worth in the circles that he's going to take you into. Listen, it's 5 Minute Finance with Vince. I love doing this with you guys. I'd love to talk to you again. I'd love to hear what you have to say down in the comments. Won't you guys talk to me? Love you guys. Talk to you later.